And I think quite honestly, one of the biggest things that I've learned over the course of like trying to sell beats is, um, you know, stop trying to make a sale at every single moment, right? If you run into every situation like buy my stuff, it's weird, right? Feel it out first, because I think like look, if you can, it's selling anything is kind of weird. I think if you're doing it the wrong way, but if you're doing it the right way, where it's like, look, you have a great product, right? You got a solid beats, you got solid licensing, and people need beats and people need licensing. If you just kind of leave it at that, right? You're talking with the people that need licensing, then there's no reason why you should feel inauthentic or in any way. And I think really authenticity is when your outer self and your inner self are the same person, right? Like if you can find a way to sell beats and be authentic, right? Then you're doing it the right way, If you come into every situation like, dreaming, scheming, I want to be everybody's friend, it's like you might be weirding some people out, but just be cool, because I think that in reality, and I think that this is kind of what helped pivot in my mind and be a more effective producer, is just like, look, making music is fun, and it should be fun even when you're like on business mode trying to sell beats. At the end of the day, you're making music, you're shopping it by a bunch of artists, and that's a cool process. There's a lot of cool people out there doing awesome things, and you get a chance to like be a part of that and connect with them, So if you just are just kind of like genuinely a fan of hip hop, right? And you seek out seeking out especially like people that you want to work with, right? I think that makes it more fun as well. Is like you find people that make music that maybe they're totally undiscovered, but they just make the sickest stuff. It's like, cool, now you can just be authentic and talk with people, and if they're interested in selling, if they're interested in buying beats, they'll buy beats. If they're not, then they won't, and you can move on. But it's like you
Right.
just try to cast your net wide, and it'll work out if it's going to.
Yeah. I got a personal question to ask then, and I
Hmm.
feel like a lot of producers run into this, especially because you mentioned like finding somebody who's completely undiscovered and talented, and we also mentioned like being genuine. So where does the line get drawn as a producer and as a salesman? Where like let's say somebody wants to connect with you and like, hey, let's link up, and then you listen to their music and you're like, this is just complete trash. But they got the bag. Like they have the bag. Like dude,
Hey, fair
1,000,
enough, man.
400. So like what do you do there? Like and in my position, I'm taking the money and I'm just working with them. And who knows?
Well, of
Maybe I can
course,
develop him.
yeah,
Maybe I
but
can develop him. But like how do you look at it like from that perspective? Is it like what, let me take the money and maybe I can develop him, or is it like what, just because like I want to work with supreme artists, like I don't know if I could do this. Like,
sure. But look, I'll let you in on a little secret.
uh-huh.
Once upon a time, I sucked.
Yeah.
Okay? Once upon a time,
Yeah.
I was an absolute bag of dog shit when it came to producing. It just wasn't what it is today, right?
Yeah.
Everybody starts that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't know, sometimes it's just like, maybe you're just like kind of trying to help people out where they can to like kind of get to that next step of improving their music in any which way.